network marketing. And it's through them that we're now into Vaseo. But before, and let me tell you something right now. Let me just share for everybody that's out there. Guys, timing is everything. Don't burn any bridges behind you. Don't burn anybody, and don't just forget them out there. You just keep coming at them in a loving way, and if when the time is right, and that's what like I said, my wife and I were out of it. We were busy doing our traditional business. Even though I knew network marketing was a great way, there was nothing that really turned me on about it right then at
Right.
that time. So I kept doing. I mean, I went to meetings. I never turned down any meeting. Somebody invite me, and I think that's the just kind of the inward workings of an entrepreneur. You're always looking for opportunity. You're always looking for that thing that turns you on and gets you motivated to begin to move and build a business from that. And my wife and I, then we had, three, four, five businesses going at a time, most all the time. But I always went to every meeting. I always kept my mind open. I always kept my, you know, ears peeled for whatever is out there. And if I heard something that sounded good, great. If not, and then I just told myself it's just not that time. So timing is everything, and in the right time, in the right place, with the right people, then all of a sudden it's right. And I'm going to tell you,
Perfect.
Vaseo is right. It is right for me right now and my wife because we have we've sold off and gotten rid of most of our traditional businesses. We're semi-retired. Guess what that allows us to do? It allows us the time and the effort to really work with a team. It allows us to have the time that, listen, Vaseo is a team. I love binary
Hi,
systems
Mark.
because we build a team in there. And when you have a team, you have these people that do this, and these people that do this, and these people that do it. We've got some people that are very good at sponsoring people. We have some people that are very good at just following up, at just being able to talk to people and staying in contact with people. We have, people that are good in every area that you need in business. There are people, my wife is very good. I'll get my ears back in here. My wife is very good at organizing. We have some others that are very good at organizing and helping us put things together in a team. And we do a lot of strategizing. We do a lot of getting together and just figuring out how we're going to build this team. And so it gives us that opportunity, but it also, for me, it's the right timing because I want to be able to share some of the
Absolutely.
experiences, some of the things, those things that I have learned down through the years. I wish I would have had a mentor back when I was younger. A lot of it there is just trial and error, but I did have in my very early years. I've always been an entrepreneur. There I go again. I fell out again. But I had an uncle that I stayed around, and I always knew there was more to life than a job. And I did teach for 10 years, but while I was teaching, I was always working. But I will say that at 13, I contracted my first job
Wow.
because
It's impressive.
I watched my uncle, and I grew up in farm country. I grew up in the area where rural area, and I contracted painting barns, and
Wow.
I just started from there. So that
That's
was the start of
awesome.
my entrepreneurship, and now we just
It's
been
in your blood. I love
and
it. See, and
it's just there.
if I could just kind of recap what you just shared with it, because I mean, you have so much wisdom. I could just talk to you for hours, but want to
Well, I
kind of
don't know
keep it
about
concise. But it
that.
sounds to me that it does start with the mindset, right? That's our first step to remain open
Correct.
and not be so tunnel visioned or focused that this is really like where I'm at is it, and there's no changing routes because this is my circumstances. But being
Mm,
open to learn new possibilities, and it sounds like you looked at several different things. If you took a break for 35 years and then, this thing just totally, all the stars lined up and you knew it was the right timing, but all those years you still went to meetings and you heard about it, you learned about it. It's
mm,
okay with getting the information. It doesn't mean you have to jump on board, right?
mm.
So
Nope.
with that, let's kind of change this and roll this into your fight with skin cancer and how our products have helped you. Because I do know that, if I remember correctly, you did share you were using the Renew and the Eternal.
Mm.
What would be, was it the Core? What else? I use all of them. And I know that you've been on board since the beginning too. So just give us a little experience, like first of all, like as much as you want to share about your story and your diagnosis and the hardship you went through, and then the relief you found with your discomfort through our products.
There again, timing. God is so good. He is so good. And 11 years ago, then I began a process there. They found malignant melanoma on my ear. They took half my ear off,
Oh my goodness.
and again, God's so good. The only surgeon available to do the surgery at the time was a plastic surgeon. And he said, I can't leave you with a half an ear. I will rebuild it. After that, and then I did have another tumor a year and a half later. The tumor came up down in my throat area here, still in the same area. And they went back in and they removed it and about 60 lymph nodes. And then a little later, there was some signs. And so they took out another 45 or 50 lymph nodes out of all of this side here.
Wow.
And so this side of my face was opened up several times. But that was, 5.5, almost 6 years ago. And I went 5 years without anything else showing up inside, which that is a benchmark. And so at this point there, then they looked at my face, and I mean, I told you I grew up in farm country. I was just in the sun all the time. And they looked at my face, and they have a way to be able to look. They put this little light on there, and they can see the precancerous cells. And they said, we would like to do some preventative chemo on you. And so that's what I started. I started that in just shortly before I first met you down in Orlando. And then it really wasn't real bad yet.
Okay,
I was
right.
taking it.
I remember just a little spot on your cheek. It wasn't very noticeable at all. But
Yeah,
so
I
that
think I'd been on it maybe a week and a half
okay, so it was relatively
at that
fresh because
time.
that was the end of
Yeah.
November, first week of
Hmm.
December. Okay,
Right.
okay.
And then went on through December. And, it just kept bringing more and more out. And then I would have to take treatment every other day, Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays. And so I don't know if you showed any of the pictures or anything, but it just pretty well just burnt both sides of my face up. And with that, now during this time, I pretty well use all the products too. I mean, we have since almost the beginning. I mean, we take the
Okay.
Core, I take the Renew, we do the Sleep at Night, I do the Eternal now, and I was taking Eternal one a day at the time that I was going through all of this. But come January 9th, 10th, somewhere along, well, the 10th, then at that point I went back into my dermatologist. And they checked me every 3 weeks, and they said, your face is so burned up that we need to be able to let that heal before we do any more. I may have a little bit more. I had done 10 weeks of chemo at that time. They said that I would need maybe up to 12 weeks of it, but they said, you need to heal up.
Right, right.
Because it
And
was just
can I
so.
interrupt real quick? Was it
Mhm.
just the chemo then? You didn't have radiation?
No, there was no radiation.
Wow,
It was
because
just chemo.
I did post your before and after pictures in a previous post, I think yesterday, and I'll drop them in the comments again to share with our audience to see the amazing, amazing difference. But
Oh, okay.
I would have assumed just by looking at it, Jim, that the damage was caused from radiation because I did not know that
No.
chemo could do that extensive
Yeah.
damage.
Yeah. It did a
Wow.
bunch.
Wow.
And so, it was just burnt to pieces. Now, I went back in on the 10th, and that was the day that Glenda took the very first pictures of me that we showed. And from that point on, I doubled up on Eternal. I doubled up on my Core Complete. I've some days I doubled up on Renew, others I didn't. But I was taking the Renew because one of the side effects there of the chemo was also just terrible, terrible muscle aches,
Okay.
and I would take the Renew for that, and it really did help with the muscle aches. But then at that point, 2 Eternals, 2 Core Completes for sure every day, and it's amazing. I go back this week, or next week there, I go back into the dermatologist and let him see. But
Oh, he hasn't even seen the
he
after?
hasn't. They
Oh
have
my
not
goodness, he's going to
seen.
be blown away, Jim.
They have
So
not seen.
let me understand this. So from the 10th of January, and we just met again in Las Vegas on the 24th, 5th, and 6th.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so literally within a couple of weeks, it
Yes.
improved that much.
Yes. Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
it was
That's
incredible. Yeah.
incredible. I'm
The
so happy it
second
brought you
pictures were.
relief, first of all. And also, since I didn't say this, Jim, thank you so much for being willing to share your story because I know a lot of people would not want to share those pictures. They would want to keep it to themselves, but you chose to be vulnerable and share this and get the word out to the masses because honestly,
People need to know.
our desire here, both of it, is to share this so that hopefully if anybody else is in a similar situation or knows somebody else that's going through that or other issues with a burn or just, it would help them,
Yeah.
so.
If you got any kind of skin issue, I tell you, Eternal is awesome. It really is because I notice in all the rest of my skin. My wife notices in her skin, and just besides skin, the CoQ10 that's in there and the glutathione that's in there, just other parts of rejuvenating the body. But skin is just amazing. And
Wow.
it's just my whole thing. I mean, you still see a little redness there. There'll still be some redness there for a while, but it's going away day by day. And
Congratulations.
I just keep dousing down that Eternal.
I love it. And
And
for people that are listening to, I wanted to share with them what our Eternal is. I mentioned it is an anti-aging supplement. It comes in a little packet like this.
mm-hmm,
You take it orally. Jim took 2 of these a day. I'm taking 1 a day, and I have noticed an improvement in my elasticity. I don't have
mm-hmm.
any kind of drastic improvement, but I do see some of my deeper lines are gone. But I'm going to just real quick run down the key ingredients of our Eternal. Comes in a beautiful box like that, but the key ingredients are glutathione. It's a powerful free radical scavenger within your body to combat premature aging and maintain a healthy immune system. There's 10 superfruit blend, hydrolyzed collagen, and that's the stuff that I feel really going to work in my skin, and
Mm-hmm.
not just in my face. I mean, everywhere, my arms, my neck. Because another thing too is that, I grew up in the era where we didn't know about really using sunscreen.
Right.
I used to put baby oil on my skin, with iodine. So we have the microactive CoQ10, which you mentioned, and then there's non-GMO sunflower lecithin. I can't even say that, but it's all natural, gluten-free, non-GMO, dairy-free, and it's absolutely amazing. And the liposome advantage is what's giving us
Mm-hmm.
the assimilation, you guys. So if you have not found something that's working for you and you would like to try the effects of this, reach out or the effects of our Eternal and get some results. Like potentially what Jim has seen. It's just incredible. Reach out to him if you're in his network, or me if you're in mine. So, all right. And then that's kind of what I just want to share with them, so they know what we're talking about when we talk about
Uh-huh.
our eternal.
And then I'd just say, I'm hooked on the CBD now too. I
Okay.
mean, I'm doing it, and I really expect it to help out even some more with all of this there, because they talked about there. Tracy talked about there at the convention there how it enhances what we're already taking. So I mean, the Eternal was doing great, but I think with the CBD, it's going to even do more. I think this redness is going to be gone by the time I go to the dermatologist next week. So that's going to be
Absolutely.
awesome. Yeah,
I
so
know. I've been
watching it.
hearing all the amazing testimonies. I'm using the oil and the cream too. I really personally, I don't find any amazing like instant noticeability with the
Mm-hmm.
oil, but I know it's working in my body. But the cream, on the other hand, that has been really, really helpful in the discomfort I have in my neck, because I'm in my mid 50s. I've got aches and pains. I suffered a car injury and had whiplash like 25 years ago. I got joint issues, so I rubbed that cream on, and it's a whole new story. So I really, really loving the cream. I tried. Check this out. I gave my little dog a drop of the oil last night. So, because he's getting up there in age, he's almost 11. He has a hard time jumping up on the bed. And I've been reading a whole lot about how helpful it is for pets. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I was curious because, with all the questions that are coming up about it, I did not know. I thought, well, do they have an endocannabinoid system? And they do. Dogs and cats
Yeah,
have an
they
endocannabinoid
do.
system just like us.
They're a whole lot like us. That's the reason I think that's the reason they love us so much.
Right? But all right, well, so let's see, what else can we share with the audience? I again just
Well,
wanted to thank you for being willing to share this story. I will post pictures of Jim's before and after. Incredible transformation.
it is
And
incredible.
the I guess if in closing, what would you give advice to anybody, because this is not only an opportunity for us to help you with your health goals and taking the most amazing supplements that are available on the market and helping you with your health goals, but also there's a business opportunity. So what would you recommend with all of your experience, again, just to leave us with
I
something that's value?
along with everything else, I am a minister. I've never had a church, but I am an ordained minister and have done a lot of ministry out there, a lot of evangelism. But one of the things that also really guided me very, very early, and that was in 3 John 1 and 2. And it says in there, I wish above all things. Now that's doing pretty good. If I wish above all things, nothing even more than that. I wish above all things that you would prosper and be in health. And I want you all, Diane wants you all. I love this business because this is one of the places where we can actually really and truly form a relationship, build a relationship one with the other, and help each other prosper and be in health. We can